something else that I say to patients, are you sure you're not listening into my sessions?
Have a have a recording thing in there.
Yes, because as far as we talk about coping skills, so ways to manage the different emotions, and I say that specifically, what's going to work for one patient may not work for the other. So we need to find something that's going to meet your specific needs and meet you where you're at, and utilize resources that are accessible to you, because sometimes there are resources that aren't for every single individual. So I like to tap into also what people use or were using before they were feeling stressed out. And I asked the question, hey, what is that activity or thing that you did that when you engage in that, you're not feeling anxious or you're not feeling depressed or worried? And because it's not really about giving people additional resources or additional coping skills, it's to think about something that already was working for you. And because you're so stressed out, it hasn't come to the front of your mind. And that's when people start saying, oh yeah, well, I used to do this, or I used to do that. And I say, yes, why not tap back into that? And that's the goal. And that's when I encourage people, see, you got this. These are things that you can do. But when there's that lack of motivation, that's where it's difficult for many people to kind of get back on track. And it's okay. You can start off by writing several things down, like brainstorming, and then deciding, okay, you sit with a feeling, you're not ignoring it, and then you decide, okay, what specific and attainable, realistic steps can I take in order for this to be an achievable goal, little by little.
So when you're saying resources, it's not necessarily like a community program or resource. It could be, I guess you kind of mentioned something where if somebody did something that distracts their mind or helps them relax or take a breather,
Right.
those are resources too, is what you're saying. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Anything could really be a resource. I always tell people, as long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting somebody else, go for it. And that's really what it is. Mm-hmm.
Are there any particular, now that we mentioned that, resources in cities or communities that people may not like necessarily think about that might be available? I mean, I'm sure it's going to range between like different cities, but have you ran into anything that you were like, oh, I didn't know that was something?
The Essex Art Center over at Lawrence.